Alright, today we're going to the doctor's office instead of to work. Though today I also have work. I don't know if I'll record that because this drive will be plenty long. So I've looked at some of the footage from previous recordings, and it's probably the case, especially right now because these roads are not smooth. Vibrations really destabilize the footage, and that kind of upsets me. Oh hey, it's the RX-8 I've looked at before. I wonder if the WRX is out today. I don't see it. I've never actually seen the RX-8 on the road, so that's cool. But yeah, it's upsetting that the bumpiness just disturbs the footage so badly because, you know, it's got to be pretty unpleasant for you guys to watch. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that, whether I should keep using the glasses or change the format or something. I don't know. Like maybe driving on smoother roads would solve it. Like I'm gonna have to look specifically at this footage because this is smooth road. I'm holding pretty still, but I don't know how bumpy it's turning out. Because because I want to make videos like this. Like that is the reason why I was really looking forward to starting this channel, why I got these glasses and all sorts of stuff. I wanted to make videos where I was driving around and also videos about cars in general. So if this setup where I'm just using the glasses isn't enough, then I need to figure something else out, whether it's GoPros at various different angles on the windows and stuff, so that when I react to something, I can cut to a different camera. Because the benefit to having the glasses, and I talked about this a long time ago in a vlog, I'm pretty sure, that the benefit to having these glasses is that you can see where I'm looking. And another benefit to having the glasses is that I don't have to have a GoPro camera strapped to my head. And I don't have to look like a really crappy pseudo discount cyborg with a camera on my face. But I feel like GoPro's stabilization technology for their lenses or their cameras or just whatever makes them slightly better just makes them more preferable somehow. And creates better footage. So I might just have to bite the bullet at some point and just get a GoPro and just glue it to my forehead or something, because I want you guys to have something good to watch. And the nice thing about this is that these are all pilot episodes. Like, this is a pilot season, basically. This is the Pivot Head pilot season. If Pivot Head came out with a new generation of glasses with stabilization technology, that'd be great, but I'd need to see footage of someone driving around just like this, and me being able to see that there's a difference, so that I can say it's worth getting another pair of glasses rather than just getting a GoPro. Now I don't know if getting a GoPro would mean I'd also have to figure out a new microphone setup, because right now I'm not using any microphone. I'm just using what's on the glasses, and that's mainly because the microphone in the glasses is fine. So since it makes things freaking phone. I mean, that basically because, you know, it works fine, so that makes it simpler for me to edit and things like that. I don't have to worry about synchronizing voice audio. But if it means having better overall quality footage, less shakiness, better for you guys to watch, maybe I should just go with the GoPro. I just didn't want to look like goofy and have people look at me and be like, what is his deal? Like, why does he have a camera on his forehead or wherever I'm gonna have it? Because I don't want to mount it to the car, because I want you guys to see where I'm looking.
Turn left at the traffic light.
That was a good downshift. Still need to learn how to do heel and toe though. This is the Mazda RX-8. And they weren't moving either.
Continue on Highway 150.
One of the things that video games will never prepare you for, movies, video games, whatever, artificial replications of cars and driving them fast, is that the moment you get into a car and you accelerate, even if the car isn't necessarily fast, I mean, this car is definitely quick, but even if the car isn't necessarily like Need for Speed Most Wanted, 2 seconds, 0 to 60, 245 miles an hour, the feeling of being pushed into your seat, even if it's just a little bit, or the feeling of the turbo spooling up and that slingshot and all that, you don't get that from playing a game on your couch with an Xbox controller or a PS4 controller or whatever you people do. For me, getting into a car and driving it fast for the first time was a lot like meeting my superhero. You know, am I going to be disappointed, or am I going to be impressed, or is it going to be completely different to anything I could have imagined? And it was me being impressed, and also the last part, there were things that I could not have accounted for, which really is saying something, because, you know, I've spent most of my life thinking and talking about cars, so I've accounted for a lot just when it comes to theoretical conversation. But heck, I did not realize that the sense of speed in an actual car is just so much more compared to any racing game I've ever played. And I've always wondered how realistic, you know, the current top-of-the-line video game is, you know, when it comes to mostly the handling model. You know, like, does the car behave correctly when you're going through a corner and you're trying to get the back end to kick out by giving it 100% in a rear-wheel drive car? Like, does it feel the way it should in the game as it would in real life? I always wondered that as a kid. Nowadays, they're getting pretty close, but obviously they haven't replicated it perfectly yet. So as you guys may or may not have noticed, pretty much all of the cars I like, except for one, which is the McLaren P1, all of the cars I like are pretty old. At least now they are. 2001 BMW M3 E46 and the 1999 to 2002 Nissan Skyline GTR. It's actually pretty difficult for me to find a new car that I really like as much as I like those cars, the older cars. And the only exception so far is the McLaren P1, because that car is just ridiculously cool. But very recently I watched like some kind of GT-ish race or series that happened at, I think it was in Daytona, and the BMW M8 GTE was out for the first time, or maybe it was GTLM, or it was some kind of GT car, but it was the M8. You know, the track car was being tested for the first, or being used for the first time before even the production car was out, which I thought was super cool. And so the M8 ticks two very important boxes for me when it comes to sports cars, especially BMW sports cars. The M8 in particular has a V8, a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, in this case the S63, and it is a coupe. Until the M8 was a thing, the only way you could get a coupe BMW with the V8 was to get the M6, which is a little bit of a boat, even for my taste. You know, like an M4 with that V8 would be awesome, but unfortunately that's not a thing. Especially an M4 GTS with the 4.4 liter V8. Like, if I had unlimited money and could only use like OEM BMW parts, I would get an M4 GTS and just swap in the M5 or the M6 motor and just call it a day and be like, this thing is perfect. Because I feel like ever since they had the E92 M3, while inline sixes are very cool, the S63-8 would be a lot better than what the M3 and the M4 have. Because even I can't remember what the engine code is for the current 3 Series motor. It's a B Series motor. I can't remember what it is though. But even that, the 3 Series motor sounds better than the motor in the M3, the S Series, which is weird to me and kind of a little annoying. So I feel like they kind of messed up there. I feel like the M3 and the M4 should have the V8s in it. And that's not because I'm American, because holy crap. I have very few American cars in my list of cars that I would even, like, be willing to buy if I had the money. Ooh, there's a decent looking Mercedes coming up here on the left. But anyways, so the M8 and the M8 GT, whatever the heck it was, that's a new car that I would be like, okay, I could see myself liking that, but I still need, like, it's still a concept car, more or less. It's not like in production or anything like that. So I still need to see more. I still need more questions that I haven't even thought of to be answered, so I can figure out if it's a car I even want to have as a poster on my wall. You know? Like, there aren't many new cars that I like. And if they do well with the M8s, I feel like that's a good candidate. The likelihood of me even driving one isn't particularly high, unless if, you know, it's 5 or 10 years later, and it's like a used car or something. I don't know.